Hey everybody, it's Eric from epautos.com, which for now is going to be ericpetersautos.com. Unfortunately, because the epautos.com domain is temporarily down, but we are working on it and hopefully we will have it up shortly. So just to let you know, if you're having troubles getting to the website, just type in ericpetersautos.com and you will get there. Anyway, back to the task at hand. We're doing a walk around of the 2016 Acura ILX, and it's been significantly updated in a number of very important ways for Acura for the new model year. This model, when it came out, was well received in terms of its aesthetics. Good looking car. The problem was that, at least with the base engine, it was really slow and underpowered for the class. 2.0 liters and 150 horsepower, and that's just not acceptable to most people who are shopping for a car that has a sticker price that's not far from $30,000. So Acura remedied the situation. The formerly optional 2.4 liter engine, which by the way is pretty much the same engine that you would get in the Honda Civic Si, is now the standard engine in the ILX for 2016. And not only that, it's paired with a new 8-speed automated manual transmission. Last year you could only get that engine with the 6-speed manual clutch operated by you transmission. And that has pros and it has cons. On the pro side, the car is actually quicker now than it was previously, and it's also more fuel efficient, significantly more fuel efficient, because of the inherent efficiencies of that automated manual transmission versus a 6-speed manual transmission shifted by you or me, or for that matter pretty much anybody. But I will miss the manual. There are now no cars in this class that come with a manual transmission that's operated by you or me or anybody else. Everybody's going to these automated manuals because they're more efficient and they offer a performance advantage over a conventional manual or a conventional automatic. So there you go. The other thing to know is that on a features and equipment basis, the 16 is actually about $1,500 cheaper than the same car last year. And actually it's not the same car, because last year you didn't get the 8-speed automated manual with the 2.4 engine. Now you do. You get the 2.4 and the 8-speed for a price that is about $1,500 less than last year's ILX with the 2.4 and the 6-speed manual. And in actuality, it's only a few $100 more expensive now for the 16 model than for last year's base model with that 2.0 engine, which was simply not adequate for a car in this class. A couple other things to point out about the ILX. It competes against cars like the Mercedes CLA 250, and I think the Mercedes CLA is a gorgeous car, but it has, and this is a startling statistic, 7 inches less backseat legroom than this car does. And that's a huge difference. The CLA, for all practical purposes, is a 2-seater car. It has back seats, but they're really just not usable for adults. This one is. The Audi A3 has an inch more legroom in the back, but it's so close that it's really, it's competitive. And the fact of the matter is that this car costs less than both the CLA and the A3. And relative to the A3 is now the under-engined car in this class. It comes standard with a 1.8 liter engine that only makes 170 horsepower. And that car takes about 8.3 seconds to get to 60, whereas the ILX will now get to 60 in about 5.8, 5.9 seconds. It's now the quickest car in the class as opposed to the slowest car in the class. Let's go inside here, have a look. Typically, Acura tight, well thought out interior, push button start. There we go. It's my radar detector. And they've made a few little changes to the interior of the car, and there are a number of new features, including there's a steering assist function that debuted on the MDX, and I wrote about that earlier in the year. And basically when you engage it, let me find the button. Where is the button? probably you can't see it, but this little button here, it's called lane keep assist or lane steering assist, or I forgot what their acronym is for it. But basically, the car has cameras in the front and it can see the lines in the road, and it will actually steer the car for you a little bit within a certain limited range. And it's neat. Now, the idea is that it's supposed to help the driver by requiring less effort to steer the car. But in a very real sense, it's kind of a prequel of the automated car that's on deck, and which will probably be here very, very soon. Shows you what they're technologically capable of and what's already being implemented in the cars. The performance of this car is very good now. It drives very much like the Civic Si. You can imagine the Civic Si, except with the transmission doing the shifting work rather than you. I'm not going to really hammer it just yet because the car is cold, and even though it's not my car, I want to be a good automotive journalist and not beat up on somebody else's car. And just in case anybody from Acura is watching this video, that's why they let me have the cars, not just because of my pros stylings, but because I do try to be responsible and decent to the cars. 7,000 RPM before the rev limiter hits in, 160 mile an hour speedometer, and the car really does scoot now. Performance is really excellent, and the Honda automated manual, the 8-speed, I was initially thinking, oh God, this is going to be like some of the other ones that I've tested out. I had a Fiat with a 9-speed, and some of these transmissions with 7, 8, 9 speeds hunt a lot, or they lurch a lot as they jump from, you know, 3rd or 4th to 7th or 8th or 9th. This car does not do that at all. It behaves really well. You just kick it up a little bit, so you just gave it about half throttle, and it bumped right up to 4, kicked right back down 2 gears, and you hardly felt any transitions. As I get up here to the stop sign, I'll give it a little go here now that we've got it warmed up. You can experience vicariously how well it accelerates. And I'll put the transmission into sport mode. Okay, I'm going to get lined up here, and here we go. So there's a little bit of that. It has that really wonderful Honda sound. In my opinion, now this is just subjective, the Honda variable timing engines, which this car has, are among the sweetest sounding engines out there. It's right up there with the old Ford small block V8. And I say that as a guy who has old Pontiacs, but they sound a little bit rough. And there are other cars that I like, but Honda engines really sound fantastic. You feel it downshift now. At any rate, I will have the full review up shortly at ericpetersautos.com rather than epautos.com. So please update your browser, and thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the flip.